Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Tim Stanovic along with Nora Melinda. We're joined by Bloomberg News earnings reporter Red Brown. Red, lot to choose from.
Yeah, it was. You know, lately we haven't been had such a bounty to pick from, so it's easy for me today. First one I'm looking at is Lucid Group. The ticker on that one is LCID. The big news today, besides that Tim will get to test drive another self-driving car, is that Lucid,
maybe in 2026. I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, with Lucid, there is a lot of question marks around exactly that. Whether or not, in the past they have struggled to actually kind of hit some of their production targets. But this go around, I know you guys are already speaking with the CEO of the company today and saying that they will have the capacity to get these cars out. The news today, obviously, was the $300 million deal that Lucid signed with Uber to launch self-driving cars by next year. So it's another one of these deals that Uber is doing to just kind of flood the market with as many options as they can.
Have either of you been in a self-driving car?
I actually haven't. I don't know how I feel about them, to be honest.
Okay, Red.
I'm afraid. I feel like I've been on the show saying exactly that.
I was once like you too. I was once afraid.
You've been changed, transformed.
I
went to San Francisco late last year for an event, and I was with a friend, and she said, "Have you ridden in a Waymo yet?" And I said, "No, I haven't. I don't really want to jump in one of those things." And she was like, "You have to do it. You got to try it." And it was really her endorsement. And she said, when we have friends come and visit, it's like a thing we do in San Francisco. You used to ride the trolley, you'd go to the pier and stuff. Well,
tourist attraction.
Yeah, people get in Waymos. And I did it once. She dropped me off at a place where I could get a Waymo. Mm-hmm. I took it, and like every time I'm there, it's the only thing I take.
But is it cheaper than?
It's like the same price as Uber, or cheaper.
All right.
I compare them.
But I wonder, is it just still going to be like a party trick? But it seems like there's so much money going into it that at this point, like it feels like it will be something we're all doing.
So critics argue that yes, it works in a place like San Francisco because of the mapping that they've done, because of the way the streets are laid out. It's being tested in Los Angeles. It's in Austin, Miami. They're going to do it in DC. They're going to test here in New York. I'm talking about Waymo specifically. I think the big question is whether or not they can pull this off. Waymo or anyone else can pull it off in a city like New York.
Right.
I guess this amount of capital.
It doesn't go on the highways in San Francisco. It's just like,
streets only.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Well, what else are you looking at, Red?
Another one on my radar is Pepsi. Obviously, they had earnings today. It came out quite strong. The organic growth beat expectations, and this company hasn't had a ton of momentum heading into this report, but now up 7% at the moment. That's the highest since April this year. So they have had some good days so far, but what really caught my attention with this one was actually the reasons why they were doing well. So it's these things like people are getting healthier. They want more protein. They want smaller serving sizes, things like that, which I don't think we always associate with, Pepsi and Coke and things like that. But, it's kind of the momentum right now is behind the healthier options, and companies are, making sure that's available to their consumers.
Poppi. Have you guys tried Poppi?
I was just about to bring that up. I always mix Poppi up with the other one. I'm blanking right now. It's Poppi versus, there's so many different health drinks at this point.
This is a prebiotic or probiotic?
Yeah, probiotic drinks.
Yeah.
And Pepsi's the owner, correct, for Poppi?
I believe so, yeah.
So,
Olipop is the other one.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you resolving that.
Have you tried? But that's supposed to be the growth area, right? Pepsi made this big acquisition.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but in that same sort of thematic vein of like, how can we be healthier, right? So that is what consumers have been shouting out for so much. I mean, I will do it after, you want something sweet after like a workout or whatever. It's like, instead of getting a Coke, you get a Poppi, and you don't feel so like you just wasted your last hour.
Makes you feel better about yourself, right?
And that's what's important.
Speaking of health.
Yes, last one on my radar today is actually one of the worst performing stocks. That's in the S&P 500. That's Elevance Health. They are down around 12% at the moment. So that's right now trending towards one of the lowest points in 4 years. So that came after the company cut its profit outlook for the year. And this is another theme that we've been tracking through all of the healthcare insurers, is they're just having a really hard time dealing with healthcare costs at the moment. United Healthcare, obviously the biggest name in this space, has been and for me, one of the most important, I think, stock stories of the year, just considering the amount of market cap that company has lost. And we're just seeing it kind of play out through the rest of that industry, through the smaller players as well.
And what's interesting, I saw Vital Knowledge, they put out a note essentially saying that the space has been beaten up, valuations are cheap. So there's not much of a reason for people to buy the dip because fundamentals aren't likely to improve anytime soon.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.